What's up, adventurers? My name is Platinum Phoenix, and welcome back to Kirby Mass Attack. Last time, we defeated Necrodeus, and in doing so, made it so the Skull Gang is no longer patrolling the islands. And this time, we are going to be doing all of the bonus content within Kirby Mass Attack. And by that, I mean, we're going to be doing every single extra in this game. And if you can see on the top screen, you can probably see that I have 186 out of 186 medals, but I only have 13 out of 14 extras. And if we go to the second page, you can see that this last one requires 186 medals, which we have, so why don't we have this one? Well, the reason for that is actually because we need to go back to the Green Grounds. And once we are back in the first world of the game, the Green Grounds, we need to have a talk with Dagroach. Marvelous, you've collected all the medals. And that concludes my business here. Let me just take those off your hands. Now, goodbye, farewell, so long, and see you around the cosmos. Oh, don't look at me like that. You know I'm deeply thankful for all you've done. But I suppose some sort of thank you gift is in order. And we just kind of throw the medals at him. And this is how we get our final extra in the game. Now I think that really does conclude our business. I must be off since a treasure hunter's job is never done. I hope we meet again someday. And with that, the Squeak Squad are just leaving us to our own devices. And if we go into our extras once again, we now have all 14 out of 14. Survival Rush being the last one. And actually, Survival Rush is going to be the last thing we do this episode, so let's go ahead and start off with Field Frenzy. These are all a bunch of mini-games, and I'm going to give you very basic understandings of each of these mini-games, just to show them all off, because some of them are pretty fun. So we are just going to start with level 1 here, and this is quite literally just whack-a-mole. All you have to do is hit everything that is not a Gordo, and try to get a high score. And it doesn't actually count if you miss, so you can pretty much just tap your screen as much as you want. And it doesn't have any downsides to it whatsoever. And I missed that, the Rogue Mole. I was hoping to get 600. I was so close. Oh wait, we get a bonus. I will get 600. I got 800. Like I said, it's a pretty fun minigame, but that's all I really need to show. As you go up in level, you get more points, but there are more Gordos. As you saw in that level, there were literally no Gordos. But let's go ahead and go on to the next minigame, which is, we're skipping the music player because it's just a place you can go in and listen to all of the music from the game, and I believe other Kirby games as well. But next up is Kirby Pinball. And basically you get exactly what you signed up for on the tin. This is literally just a pinball game. But there are more things to this pinball game than just playing pinball. There are actually 4 different bosses that you can fight in this one pinball game. And specifically, those bosses are the Wispy Woods is the first boss. And then you have Lololo and La 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 as the second boss. And then the third boss is the Heavy Lobster, I believe is what it's called. I just completely missed there. Thankfully the grinders are helping. And the last boss is Marks, which is kind of surprising that they have Marks as the last boss. Or as a boss at all, because Marks is just not in this game. I understand why they did it, because Marks is a very, like, carnival-themed boss in the Kirby game, and 2, is a very recognizable Kirby character. So it makes a lot of sense that they would make it so Marks would be at least a boss in the game. And getting into the King DDD's mouth is actually how we get to the boss stage. And I'm not going to show all of them because I don't think it's necessary. But I will at least show how to attempt to fight against Wispy Woods because I am not good at this. What you need to do is basically bounce the Kirby ball into the boss enough times to take out their health bar. And if we hit him, I think 2 more times. Luckily, this is not too difficult. Oh, 1 more time, actually. We take out Wispy Woods, and that is the boss stage cleared. I do believe you have to now lose, which I wasn't actually expecting to lose there, but oh well. I believe either you have to lose, or once you get inside to King DDD's mouth again, it sends you to the next boss. But I believe that is all there is for Kirby Pinball. So on to the next. Next up is Kirby's Curtain Call. Basically, this is a Mario Party game. Where what you need to do is each stage, they will have Kirby's on the screen and other things to fill it up. And you just have to count how many Kirby's there are. And this can get very difficult very quickly from anyone that has played Mario Party. Can probably tell you. That's 2. There's 2 on this one. Nice peach to try to make me think it's a Kirby. But you can see how this can ramp up pretty quickly. 1, 2, 3. And I don't believe there's any like rewards for doing these mini games. They're just here to break up the monotony of actually doing the Kirby levels. And since you unlock them for like every 10 or 20 medals, you can do them pretty often. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ramping up a little bit quickly here. What's next? Stage 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That peach is not one. And I believe, I don't have to believe, there are 10 stages to this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I believe it's just 5. Not 6. Alright, 5. I believe the hardest is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stage 10, I believe, is really difficult, and I believe I messed it up, actually, on my practice run. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I counted 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't... Is that wrong? Oh, that was his foot! That wasn't another... I thought there was a Kirby hidden behind this bean bon in the middle. That's upsetting. But that's basically all there is for Kirby Curtain Call. You can play this as many times as you want, and hopefully do better at counting than I did. But on to the next one, which is, I believe, Kirby's Dash Course. And this one, all we need to do is we're going to do the 10-second, or we'll do the 30-second dash. What you need to do is, it's basically a matching game, and you just need to press the buttons on the bottom screen to match with what's to match with what's happening on the top screen. And it does speed up pretty quickly, and if you mess up, it causes you to wait for a couple of seconds, kind of killing your score. So you need to focus pretty heavily doing this. I almost messed up there. 61 meters is not terrible, considering the high score was 60 meters. I beat it by 1 circle! But yeah, I don't want to do this again, so I'm just going to meet you back at the main screen. Alright, now back on the extra screen. Next up, we are going to skip over Strato. Actually, no, why are we skipping over Strato? We are not. I am mistaken. Let's go into Strato, which I believe this is just Galaga. All you need to do is you can either hold or tap on the screen. Basically, you can control it just like the main game. And you're just playing as Kirby shooting stars and attacking the enemies. And you want to try to get as many points as you possibly can. And the more Kirbys you have, the more powerful your attacks are. I believe you can have up to 10 Kirbys, just like the regular game. So, avoid that. This can go on for a pretty long time, but it's a pretty simple game. It's very base, like Space Invaders or Galaga-esque game. Take this to power up. And you can see that I have 4 Kirbys. Where did I get the 4th one? Did that... We're just gonna circle. There is no stopping the circle of Kirbys. You can see how effective just spinning in circles is. And now we have 5 Kirbys. The main downside to having more Kirbys is that they lag behind when you move. But that could actually be a strength if you, like, think ahead on how you're moving the Kirbys. Because you could do kind of big circles and just hit the whole screen if you wanted to. We have 6 Kirbys. What do we have next? Take out the Waddle Dees and the Woods. And I think at this point, there's not really much else for me to talk about. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and speed up this. Actually, no, never mind. This is the boss, so there's no point. And all we need to do is... Honestly, there's really no point to moving. These big bean bonds on the side, which are actually angry bean bonds, which is an interesting new thing, are not super dangerous because of how many Kirbys we have. And they go down pretty easily, all things considered. But with that, that is the stage cleared, and I believe it immediately spits us into the next stage. But actually, I didn't show something, so let me show something real quick. This R/L button, if you hit R or L, it will shoot a blast across the entire screen of just stars and will destroy basically anything that is on the screen. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my Kirbys up here and allow them to be defeated. And I will meet you back on the minigame select screen, or the extra screen. Alright, back on the minigame screen. We are doing our second to last minigame, which is the Kirby Quest. And if you wanted a Kirby RPG in this game for some reason, this is the minigame for you, because it is basically just a Kirby RPG. It's basically just a timing game. All you have to do is this bar on the top screen, on the bottom screen actually, is showing you that you just need to get this beam into the pink area. And if you can, well, that was a bad showing, but the closer you get to the pink, the more damage you do. And if you hit the pink, then you do super attacks, which hopefully I can show. I believe there are 10 stages to this, so it's not a very long RPG, if I'm being honest. But it is pretty fun to just watch the Kirbys do their attacks. And if you do actually hit the peak area, you get, like I said, the super effect. And you hit all of the enemies at once instead of just hitting one of them. This isn't going to take this guy out, I don't think. No, it didn't. That's unfortunate. Luckily, they don't get to attack for some reason. Also, you can see some of the power-ups from different Kirby games in this. like that was laser, the laser power-up that Kirby gets in other games. Let's see what we get here. Oh, we get the hammer power-up. And, ooh, we get... That's a boss. That was a boss from a different Kirby game. I forget the name of it. I'll put it on screen. But, yeah, we're just summoning bosses and using different power-ups. It didn't recognize my click there for some reason. And the higher we get, the more Kirbys we get, which means the more damage we can do in a turn. And I believe if we take this guy out in one turn, which we should be able to, he gives us the Maximato, which gives us a ton of experience, giving us 8 Kirbys out of 10. And this is stage 8, but this might be the boss. I forget if this is the first world boss or not. And that is the wheel power-up. And what do we got here? That is a lot of tiny crocodiles. And yeah, the Maximato gave us a lot more experience than that did. And that was not the boss. What do we have next? That was bad. We get lasers, though, which I guess takes everyone out in this circumstance. 9 Kirbys, and is this the boss fight? Final stage. Oh, it's King DDD. I wasn't expecting King DDD for some reason. Oh, and we get Mecha Kirby. I don't think we can take out King DDD in one turn, but we can certainly try. Oh, King DDD just doesn't get to attack for some reason. Sure, we'll get our 10th Kirby, and that is the entirety of the first world. And that's basically all there is for Kirby Quest. After you beat the first world, Chapter 2 opens up and you can keep going, and it gets harder as you go up in chapter, but I don't really feel a need to do that. The game album is just pictures from throughout the game. If we open it, I can show. There's different story pictures, which are the cutscenes from the stories. And then we have special pictures, like the final image of the credits, which shows you that you have all the medals. And then if you... I believe that's basically all there is here. And then we have 5 checklists, which are actually for the achievements, which is what I'm going to call them. They're not really achievements, but it's to show you what each of the 5 different lists of achievements are, because at the beginning of the game, and before you have any of these checklists, they're all question marks until you do them. So this just makes it a lot easier to do each of the achievements if you want to do them. But the last thing for this episode, and I think the last thing for this series, is going to be Survival Rush, which, in easiest terms to go over, is a boss rush of sorts. You can see on the top screen, there are 16 different bosses in this game, and they start you off with 10 Kirbys. And your only goal is to beat every single boss in the game without losing all your Kirbys, because you cannot get more Kirbys back once they are lost in this series of boss fights. And they time you to see how long it takes you. So I think instead of talking through all of the bosses that I have already shown you, I'm going to speed this up and try to do like a compilation of boss fight here. So let's go ahead and start with... I guess I should also explain what 1, 3, and 5 mean. Rank 1 are the easiest bosses. Rank 3s are reserved for like tougher mini bosses or sometimes final bosses. And then rank 5 are for the 4 world bosses and I believe 1 mini boss that's really difficult. But I find it easiest just to go from 1 to 5, so that's what we were going to do. So let's go ahead and start with 1. Alright, with all the 1 doors completed, I want to show, if we go over past this block, there is actually a magic circle to heal all your Kirbys between battles, and you can use that magic circle as many times as you want. And as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, that there are 3 Maximatoes past this second star block. So if you lose a Kirby, you are able to get up to 3 Kirbys back. But I wouldn't rely on it. I would rely on trying to keep as many Kirbys as you can. But back to the montage of bosses, starting with the 3-door. And just like that, that is all 16 bosses in 27 minutes, 28 minutes. I think that's pretty good. And that is the last of the extras that we have to go over. So I think we're going to call this episode here. I hope that everyone enjoyed watching. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Next time, we start a new adventure. But until then, happy adventuring.